Hello, history friends, it's me. Bet you're missing me so much. This is kind of weird to make a video of myself because I don't usually do this, but I guess you guys look at me every time I talk. Today we are going to learn about, really kind of wrapping up the World War II. We're going to talk about a couple of important battles that are the turning point in World War II that are going to turn the war in favor of the Allies. So basically, where we left off, we were, the Nazis had pretty much taken over all of Europe. We've been talking about the Holocaust and, the effect on individuals a lot. But now we're going to kind of shift to some battles and to some war tactics that are going to really change the face of the war. And again, get us in favor of the Allied powers, which you guys need to know who the Allies are and who the Axis powers are. So make sure you do, okay? First battle we're going to talk about is the Battle of Atlantic. Now, if you're following along with these are the notes that are listed on Google Classroom for you under the war in Europe and North Africa. So these are the ones you should be following along with, and you can use those notes that are posted on there to help you go with this, okay? So the Battle of Atlantic, we've talked about the attack on Pearl Harbor, okay? And Tojo of Japan ordered that attack on Pearl Harbor. He was, we talked about the fact that he was shifting focus and that he wanted to create this Imperial Asia, and he was going to take over that area. Well, Hitler was not thrilled when Tojo attacked Pearl Harbor because, that drug the United States into the war. Okay, so Pearl Harbor was that big event that drug us into the war, because we could no longer deny that this war didn't affect us because we were attacked directly. So it was at that point that Roosevelt decides that he's going to split our forces. Half will go to Japan and half will go to the war in Europe. And we decided that it was important because they were allies that we would attack them on both sides. And after Tojo did that, I mentioned earlier that Hitler was not thrilled that he did this because, again, he wanted to defeat the British and the French before he goes and he defeats I hate doing this by myself. He wanted to defeat the British and the French before he attacked America. So his intention was to eventually come after us once he had established his empire in Europe. But that wasn't going to happen because now Tojo made that decision without consulting Hitler. So now he has to do that. And he ordered ships to actually attack along our eastern coast. So while he didn't actually get to the eastern coast, New York, Massachusetts, he did order ships along that border. Our naval ships met them and defended that before he got to the United States. But he felt like he needed to make a tactical move and attack us there. Mostly he's trying to prevent any kind of food or weapons or supply ships that are on their way over to Europe as we make our way over there to definitively start this war. In 1942, the Germans sank 87 of our ships. 7 months into 1942, the Germans had sunk 681 Allied ships. But again, we go back to what we tried in World War I, which was our insistence that we try the convoy system. Now, if you remember, the convoy system was to take a big, ship with our supplies on it and put warships all around it so that we could detect any U-boats or things like that and destroy them before they could destroy us. So that convoy system, again, is going to be very, very helpful and help us get there. Now, a little bit different from World War I, okay? With World War I, we couldn't detect those U-boats. World War II, we have sonar. So we are able to detect those warboats sneaking up on us, okay? So that's really important, and it really helped because new warships could detect those U-boats and we could get there. We also had better airplanes. By World War II, we're flying naval ships off of these big barges, and we're able to get up and get those supplies and protect them by air as well. So airplanes came a long way since World War I as well. Now, we're going to shift focus. Because of that, we were able to get a lot of those supply ships that we needed over there. And again, just like World War I, here we come to save the day because we offer new supplies, new weapons, new soldiers. And the British and the French were getting tired. I mean, the French were completely occupied at this point. The British were barely hanging on by a thread. If you want to watch a good movie, there's a good movie on Churchill. That really explains what a desperate situation that the British were in. They needed help. The Stalin was, of course, fighting on their side, but he had his own issues over in the east. And he was basically fighting those battles on his own in the east. And he had... they had actually taken Leningrad, the Germans did, so they had to fight a battle in the east as well. Back to Churchill, he had begged Roosevelt to come over, and Roosevelt had pretty much ignored... Sorry, those are my children, and this is why learning from home is very difficult. Okay, so... Hey, Leah, I'm in the middle of teaching a class, okay? All right. All right, so... Roosevelt had refused, but at this point, again, we're attacked, so here we come to save the day. Now we are gonna go back to the Battle of Stalingrad. Like I said, the Germans had taken over